So I'm all alone again today. We've done this a couple times now without Lori, but I'm excited because I made a new friend, Travis, and we're going to be talking a lot about Eustis Roofing on the show. But you as a person outside of work, what do you like to do?
So mentioned, I've got twin boys and a wife, so family man 100%. I like to spend as much time as I can with them.
I bet your wife likes that you like to spend a lot of time with them too. She's probably does she stay home with them?
She does. She's at home with the boys, which is such a blessing. Like I love the fact that she can just be with them and focus on raising them and honestly just dealing with them.
What are their names?
Bo and Griffin.
Oh, I love that. Griffin was on my short list for my son.
Really?
He's almost 19 and my daughter's 21. But yes, I love that name. So twins, identical, right?
Identical twins. Yep, and they're two little meatballs. I mean, they got big heads like I do, so they just, they waddle around.
Future football players.
Future football players for sure. But they just great kids, and my wife's a rock star. So
is she done, or does she want more?
Wants more. So hopefully
she wants that girl child.
I don't know if it's as much a girl. It's like twins was first for us.
That is so crazy. Yeah. A lot of people will be like, I'm done. Like with us, it was kind of like I didn't care if it was a boy or girl.
Yep.
As long as they were, in all honesty. But we knew when I had a girl first. And the second one, before we knew what it was, even my husband was like, I don't care if it's a girl, if it's a boy, I don't care. But there's two of us, there's two of them.
Yep.
I cannot be outnumbered.
Yeah,
and I was laughing.
I think she just wants to go through the process again. Like she always wanted a big family, which I'll thank her later for. I think I worry about like the front end logistics part of it. But I will say like, I would want a little girl next. I think it would be.
They are fun.
It would be good to have a little girl.
They are fun.
But then outside of that, just I like to work out, play golf, fish, anything like water, boating, being on the beach. And we're in Florida, right?
That is the best, and it is the best part about it, is that 9 times out of 10, we had a little bit of a cold winter this year, but really, I can remember Christmases where it's, like 85 degrees outside, and the sun shines here more than it shines anywhere, I swear.
It really is. Like when I fly anywhere else, when I come back, even going through the airport, as chaotic as that can be, just seeing the palm trees, and it's always usually sunny. It's just it's good for the soul.
It is. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to have a conversation about Eustis Roofing.
I am as well.
Welcome to the Style Podcast, presented by Plaza Cadillac and Plaza Lincoln, where our drive to be the best starts with you.
Experience the calm and serenity of a new Lincoln today. With over 100 new Lincolns in stock, you're sure to find one you love and enjoy financing offers as low as 0%. Or take advantage of attractive offers totaling over $5,000 on our best-selling Corsair and Nautilus, the 25 Motor Trend SUV of the year. We also offer a huge selection of locally owned certified Lincolns with a 6-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Plaza Lincoln, across from the Leesburg Airport. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome to the Style Podcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Plaza Lincoln, Plaza Cadillac, Disability Consultants, and Eustis Roofing, who we happen to have in-house today. Travis Hawkins, COO, General Manager of Eustis Roofing. So tell us, how'd you come into that position? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I came in a little over 2 years ago, was hired by Jason, and have done a little bit of everything for him at this point. The Riesman family is amazing. Like, honestly, look up to them, just how they do everything. And they have welcomed me in, and, I feel like a member of the family at this point of just how they've treated me and welcomed me into Eustis, and I've really loved it.
Yeah,
so
we love it.
It's a fantastic company.
I know Alan, whom we were talking prior to this, that he's a city commissioner here in Leesburg, a good friend, love him to pieces, cousins, I think. Yep. So they have a large footprint in the area.
They do. The Riesman, yes, it's a huge family in this area.
So are you from the area originally, or where did you come in from?
I am not. Yeah, so my background is a little different. I grew up in a small farming family outside. It's Suffolk, Virginia.
Okay.
If you happen to know that area, went to college at Virginia Military Institute. Went there to play football.
Nice. What position?
I was an outside linebacker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my main goal was just to try to get college paid for. I loved football. Wanted to play Division I. My grandfather was in the military, which was like he was a huge idol for me, and somebody, he's not around anymore, but somebody I still look up to. And so I wanted to go serve our country. So commissioned out of Virginia Military Institute into the Army.
Nice.
And got stationed down in Fort Benning. And then got into this whole gig after my Army days.
Gotcha.
So that's how I ended up down here. And I've been down in Florida since 2020. And my brother's down here and family's
like
down
it?
here. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I've been here my whole life. I love it. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
It's the best. Not minus the summer. I will say,
well,
like,
see,
May
I'm
through
good with.
September.
I am good. I will take 100 degrees any day over anything below 60. Like I guess because I was born here, I'm not used to it. But so for example, with Eustis Roofing, I know we were also kind of chatting about this before. There's so many differences. Like when you were in Virginia, the longevity of a roof up there versus the longevity here. So if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so much of it has to come down to codes and like what's required. Florida, and rightfully so, is probably one of the most strict environments to roof in. Mm-hmm. And most of that comes down to the heat and weather. We get wind-driven rain here that you just don't see. I mean, the storm that just happened the other day,
I know.
right? That was like a hurricane for 2 hours.
I walked outside for 5 seconds, like on my front porch to get an Amazon package. And literally, it felt like I was in the middle of the way the trees were. I was like, where did this come from?
I was
just like that.
The exact same way. I looked out of the window at our office. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we knew storms were coming, but I'm like, that's just insane. But you get that down here and you don't get it anywhere else. And so, we roof differently down here to be able to prepare for that. In Virginia, sure, you do get one-off hurricanes, but you're just not dealing with like the daily afternoon storms here and the daily heat that we have here. It really can do damage to a roof if you're not doing it the right way. And I think that's the part that I've loved about Eustis is like it's in our mission statement that like quality and craftsmanship and taking care of our employees and our customers that's our number one focus. And then everything else like growth and anything you would want to do with a business is all secondary to making sure that we put on a really, really good roof. And I see it every single day, starting with Jason and Richard and the project managers and some of our crews. Like our people genuinely care about the product that they're doing, they're putting on a roof. And I think I've learned through them that, quality is the only thing that really matters. Everything else you can add sales process, you can add marketing, you can add business efficiencies, but none of it matters if you don't have a really good quality product.
No, you're right. And so that's another thing we discussed. Just because something is the cheapest, and I know the roofs are an expenditure. They're not, it's not like we're going to go buy a new couch or we're even going to, I don't know, repaint the outside of the house.
Yep.
It's a big expense.
It is.
But it's the main thing separating the inside of your house from all the, everything going out on outside. So like you said, being the cheapest does not mean that's the one area you don't want to skimp on.
No, absolutely. And I think I always tell people the story. I won't call out the business. I would never do that. But I tried to, we needed to resurface our pool. We moved 3 years ago and we bought this house and we loved it, but the pool was cracked and was leaking everywhere. I found, did multiple quotes and I'm like, wow, this guy's, significantly cheaper. I think he was like $10,000 cheaper than anybody else. So he's half the price. And I went with him and what happened 3 months later, found out it was leaking like crazy. I tried to patch it. I think I went like 6 months trying to patch it and then eventually had to bring in somebody else to completely just redo it all over again. And I tell people that story because like we see the same thing with roofing all the time where everybody's focused on, like, I don't really care because you mentioned earlier, like roofs are expensive. And I agree. Like it's not something anybody wants to do. Nobody comes over to your house and is like, wow, you have a great roof. Like it's not.
I know, right? I might start doing that though, just out of,
Yeah, once you get it done, then you might, but it's not like a kitchen remodel where you walk in and you're like, wow, like good job on your new roof. Mm-hmm. And so I think people are hesitant to spend the money on it. But I think where we have excelled is that we back our work personally. And so we'll give like Eustis guarantees that to basically say, no matter what happens to it, just give us a call. And that matters because you do not want to get in a situation where, like my pool example, where a year later, you're redoing your roof or you're doing all these repairs or you're calling the person and like they're not answering now. And I think that's what I've respected the most about Eustis is like they don't do business that way. And it starts from the very top that we want to make sure like we'd rather give up money out of our own pockets to take care of our customers. This is a small town, like news travels quick.
It is, and I think people forget that. is as big as we get, it's still a small town.
It is,
And
yeah.
word of mouth and the way you treat people is a huge thing. So that's a great thing. And speaking of pools, I'll need the number of the guy that you ended up using. I think we'll have to do that
the new
soon.
company. You don't want
It's always something with a pool, though. Always
is.
something with a pool. Our salt cell just went out. So
I told my wife, I was like, we don't want a pool. She was adamant about pools.
see, and
they
it was
just-
vice versa in my house. And I'm like, and now though, he is constantly like, it's always something with the pool. And I'm like,
I think if it was up to me, I would just rent for the rest of my life and not deal with all the
there's
headaches.
so much stuff,
Yeah.
so much stuff. And again, that's where we go back to. I will say this though, even though you don't say, "Oh, great roof," they are something that if it's not aesthetically pleasing, you notice it
Yes,
right away.
yeah.
But you guys do all? Do you do metal?
We do.
The
Yeah, so
asphalt is what it's called.
We
and
do
then-
regular shingle, asphalt shingle roofs. We do flat roofs. We do commercial roofs. We do tile roofs. Very good at tile. A lot of people in this area maybe don't. We don't see as much tile around
Right.
here, but we do sometimes in the villages, and then especially down in Orlando, we see a ton of tile. And then we do metal. I will say we are phenomenal at everything that we do. Our metal, I have not been able to see anybody compete with us. We custom cut all of our metal in-house. We take trailers like to the customer's home and custom cut it right in your driveway.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll give a shout out to Juan Pablo, who's one of our project managers in metal. But if you're around those crews or you see our team operating in metal, they're absolutely phenomenal.
What is the price difference from like an asphalt, a normal shingled roof versus the metal roof?
Yeah, so I usually tell people double to be safe. It's not really completely double. I think one I was looking at the other day, the customer's price was right around like 20 or 21, and I think metal was coming out at like 34-ish.
Oh, okay. That's
34
not-
to 35. Yeah.
What size house?
See now you're girl. Let me see if
I'm
I really
kinda
remember.
curious myself.
It wasn't huge.
Because mine would have looked good with a metal roof, but
Yeah, metal
it's a
is-
craftsman style, so
It's gorgeous,
It
and those
is.
are like what we tell customers is like insurance now is making people replace shingle. Let's say 15 years, give or take. Tile, we're seeing people sometimes get the call for replacement around 20 to 25. Now the lifetime of tile is better, but as far as what insurance wants to keep up with, whereas metal, we always say it's a roof for your grandkids.
it lasts that long.
Yeah, no one. If you do like a multi-rib roof, you might have to re-screw it. But outside of that, like you want to keep it clean, obviously, but that roof will go pretty much forever. So
it would probably
it'll
be worth
likely
the
outlive
investment.
both of us if we got metal roofs. So
Nice.
Which is cool.
That is something to think about.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the Style Podcast.
Orlando homeowners, are you avoiding replacing your roof because of the cost? If you're nodding yes, you're not alone. A lot of people are in the same boat. That's why we offer several financing options to suit your needs. At Eustis Roofing, we take the time to walk through your situation, answer your questions, and find a plan that works for your needs. No pressure, no runaround, just real solutions so you can take care of your home. If your roof needs attention, let's talk. We're here to help.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. I'm here with Travis Hawkins, General Manager and COO of Eustis Roofing. So on the break, we were talking about, I had heard of these new like shake style shingles, and you were saying that they're not battle tested, so it's
Yeah.
not something. And I wouldn't want to be a guinea pig. You don't want to spend that kind of money and then be the guinea pig.
Exactly. I think there's same thing with like some of the solar roofs or different things or solar shingles that people are using is, our thought process is like if a customer asks for it, we're going to try to do anything we can to get you what you want. But we know that Certainteed, for example, is the shingle that we use. We trust them. They trust us. They back us. We know they're going to do the right thing if something were to go wrong, and we can look at a customer and say, like, I know what this roof's going to do for you. I know how long it's going to last. I know if there's issues, we know what to do. Whereas I think when you get in new products that we were talking about Florida earlier that haven't been battle tested in Florida, it's just really tough for us until we know for sure what it's going to do to look at the customer and be like, hey, you should pay $25,000 for something that we're not totally sure about.
Yeah, might not last.
Yeah, so that's
might not survive that hurricane wind or
exactly. Whereas we know our trusted like metal, tile, and shingle, and we run tons of flat roofs as well. That we know what it's going to do, and we trust the materials that we're putting up there.
Right. So what's your favorite part of the job? I mean, I know, again, like you said, it's not one of those improvements people do that we automatically get, like you said, because
Yeah.
when someone does get a new kitchen, you're like, oh my God, I love the backsplash.
Yeah.
So, but what's your favorite part of working with Eustis Roofing?
I think it's going to sound cheesy because I feel like everybody says the people. So I'll go deeper than the people. I think it's that I learn something from our team every single day, and I think it's because they're so passionate about what they're doing. We have such a belief, and I think that goes for business being in business for 67 years, that people that work there genuinely believe that we're doing the right thing. We put on the best roofs, that we are the best of the best. And that's not digging anybody else. It's just a true belief that people have that work there. And I think that culture and atmosphere is contagious. And you feel it when you walk in the building. You feel it when you're around the guys that are up on the roof. And to me, it's just like, what a incredible experience to be part of a company that, every company makes mistakes, and we are definitely guilty of our fair share. But when you genuinely believe you're doing the right thing and you care for like your fellow employees and the customers, that's all. That to me, I view as like the North Star, and then the rest of the things, like they work.
You're not wrong, and I do think who you work with can make or break a job. You could love your job with everything that you are, but if you go to work every day and it's like a negative environment, it's not going to be a place you want to.
Yeah, so I can't do that.
Yes. As far as I know, we were talking too that it's Eustis Roofing. How long has it been around?
67 years.
So a long time. So I noticed, because I live in Fruitland Park, there's a location there now.
There is.
You know, it's funny because, like I said, when you're driving through Fruitland Park and you're like, Eustis Roofing.
Yeah.
And you said there's one in Orlando now too.
There is. Yeah. So we're right in College Park in Orlando.
Okay.
We're the official roofer of the Orlando Magic now as well.
That is so cool.
Yeah, which is really cool. And they've been a phenomenal organization. They do so many like charitable events and things that we're able to be a part of, and it's across all of Central Florida, so it's not like just Orlando. But Orlando's been an amazing market to expand into. Obviously, Lake County's our home, and it always will be. And then Fruitland Park, we and into the villages is kind of home too. We've been working in the villages in that area for a long time, and we just felt like, the idea of putting the offices up is really for the employees, if I'm being honest. Twofold: customers can come in if they need to, but usually we're going to their home. But it's really for the employees to try to cut down on, why drive an hour and a half back to the shop when we could set up things a little bit.
Well, in traffic now in Lake County.
Yeah. I know.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Road improvement people, infrastructure people. To get from point A to point B anymore is
it's insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
Just absolutely insane. So kudos
really
to you for putting an office for those people to get to easier.
Absolutely.
It's actually in a really great location too.
And we have
it's
a phenomenal team there.
Yeah. So that's amazing. So tell me, what are some things that you would want people to know about what? So for example, I know it's a family, a family that established it 67 years ago, but why choose you over, I don't know, any other roofing company?
Yeah, well, I'll say first and foremost, like there's some great companies in the area. There's some great roofers, and a lot of them like we respect. A lot of them are good friends of mine now. And so when I say this, it's not to down them. I think that when you choose Eustis Roofing, you are getting a company that is going to do things the right way. And if we don't, we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to fix it for you. And I think that peace of mind when you're doing a project like a roof it's critical. It's mandatory to have a contractor that we're humans, right? And I know the AI race is coming for sure, but it's not in
I know people are worried about it, but at the end of the day, AI is never going to be able to completely take over.
Agreed.
That human connection and being able to have a conversation with a real human versus, look, I'm the first person to tell you I love ChatGPT.
Yep.
You can literally ask it anything, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't know that, instead of you having to look it up. But there's still that human connection where you want to be able to say, I'm going to have a conversation with a real person.
Yep.
And that's the beauty, I think, too, what you're talking about. Some of these companies might be so large, you don't feel that connection. You might, at least you have offices that if I do need to come in and talk to somebody, I can go in and talk to somebody.
Yes. And I talk to customers myself every day, right? And what I'm trying to get in front of is hear what's the good, the bad, like what's going on and how can we be better. And you mentioned earlier, like, what do I enjoy most? It's not when something goes wrong, but I love when you speak to a customer, something has happened, and they were a little bit frustrated, and seeing the aha moment of like how happy they are that they went with Eustis because we're fixing it.
Right.
Even if it means, you know what, like I've had to look people in the face and be like, we're human. We made a mistake, but we're going to replace your roof now. Like we made a mistake.
And
like,
you've had to do that?
We didn't mean to. Yeah, I think anybody has had to do something like that.
Well, no, but that's nice to know that if you make a mistake, you're going to redo the whole roof.
Yeah.
I think people do need one. I would. I mean, I don't want to use it. That's the thing. You always worry about these companies, and they come in and do your roof, and if there's something wrong, what are they going to do to fix it? Are they going to just like leave you high and dry?
Yep. And that we would never do, which to me is very
That
very
is
important.
huge. With anything like the pool thing, like just out of curiosity, why did the other guy give you your money back on the pool?
No. And so that was the classic, like really going with like a small business where he didn't have the cash, kind of stopped answering, and got to the point where he was like, oh, let me come try to fix it for you, because he couldn't give money back. He'd already probably spent it on something else. And I think a lot of these businesses get strapped very quickly for cash, and that's the benefit of a bigger business, that we have put things in place so that we can take care of our customers. And we've put a lot of things in place that we can take care of our employees. We are a small business, but we have insurances and 401ks, and we put our team in vehicles so that they're not on the side of the road every day, right? Like we make sure that the trucks we're putting them in, that they're safe. They have airbags. They have some of the newest technology. Like we're not trying to put somebody in a situation where they could get themselves hurt. But the most important thing to me is that somebody comes and works at Eustis Roofing and they can have a career. Like it's not just a job. And that they can truly see themselves of like, hey, I want you to be here the next 40 years. My head of operations has been there over 40 years.
That is insane.
Yep, and we want that.
You don't hear of that very often unless it's with like a huge nationwide company.
Exactly. And so it's been a lot of pressure on us, and on myself and Jason to make sure that we can build a company that, we say all the time, like there's decisions we could make to make sure that we're doing great over the next year to 5 years. But we're making decisions that are like, what do the next 100 years look like for Eustis?
Right.
And my grandchildren could be involved in this.
I love that.
That kind of stuff is really important to make sure we're making decisions today to set ourselves up for that.
That's great. We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back on the Style Podcast.
Plaza Cadillac in Leesburg is your destination for luxury. Choose from our wide selection of gas-powered SUVs and sedans with attractive savings and rates starting at 2.9%, or make the move to electric and also take advantage of these limited-time offers. Plaza owners enjoy a wide range of benefits, such as 4 years free maintenance, free car washes, and more. Visit us today to experience the Plaza difference. Plaza Cadillac, across from the Leesburg Airport. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. I'm here with Travis Hawkins from Eustis Roofing. We were talking again on the break. So Eustis Roofing, like it's been here, we were talking 67 years.
Yep.
However, back in 2023, it was purchased by a larger company.
Yep.
So, but the cool thing is, like, Jason's still involved. Jason's still there. It still kind of feels like it's a family-owned business. It just has a bigger...
100%. Yeah, Jason's still involved. A bunch of the Riesman family is still involved. I live here in Florida. My wife and kids are here in Florida. It really just gave us the ability to take better care of our employees. That's all it really came.
That is a huge thing. And I don't think people realize that. As someone that has run a company before, there's so much that goes into that.
Yeah.
Being able to pay them a livable wage, or what they're worth, being able to, you have insurance.
Yep.
Employers have to pay employee taxes on top of what,
do.
all these little things go into it. So when you have someone that has a bigger piggy bank that can help you with those things, that's huge.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to focus on the why, which is all about like, what can we do for our employees? What can we do for our customers? The way that we view it is having that partnership that we now have gives us the ability to make sure that we can be around for another 100 years, and make sure that, when we tell somebody, if I look you in the eye and I say, hey, you have a 20-year warranty backed by Eustis Roofing, that I know for a fact we're going to be here in 20 years and we can back it. And it gives us the ability to keep a small family-run business and local business operating the exact same way, but the ability to have scale to, every single one of my employees has health insurance. They have 401ks. Like they have the ability to grow careers, and it was something that we maybe didn't have before. Actually, I know for a fact we didn't have before. And I think sometimes the misconception is that it's not, it's not a local Florida business. And I think the biggest message that I have is like, yes, it is 100%. Like I live right here in the state of Florida. My wife and kids are here. I'd love my two little twin boys to eventually work for Eustis. Yep, twins.
Fraternal or identical?
Identical twins.
Wow, how old are they?
They're 2.5.
So cute.
Yeah, but in the
How do you
Jason.
tell them apart?
So for us, it's very easy to
Okay.
tell. Like my mom still mixes them up. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. But sometimes people from the outside mix them up. But for us, it's very obvious.
I love that. That's
And I think that ties to Jason. Like he has the Reisman family, as you mentioned earlier, is huge. They're big in this area, and it's important to us that like we can do things the right way to be around for a long time. And we all live right here. All the Reisman family is still involved. And so I think sometimes there's some misconception around that, but it really just gives us the ability to take better care of our homeowners and better care of our employees.
So the 20-year guarantee, that's not the shingle necessarily. That's their job that Eustis Roofing does.
Yep. So we have different packages, but we will personally back our roofs. So manufacturer warranties are amazing. We 100% pass those on as well. But we want to add something extra and say that we're going to personally guarantee it. And like I said, there's kind of tailored effects to that of like what you would like. Some people, they don't really care as much about that. Some people they do. I definitely would. But we offer different ways to make sure that if this is your lifelong home, we want to make sure that you don't worry about the roof until ultimately you have to get it replaced again.
That is so nice. So what are some things that people should look at, not just age-wise, but, and I am curious about this too, in replacing? What says, hey, this is a red flag? You
Yep.
need to start looking at getting quotes and let's move this along so you need a new roof.
Yeah. So have you seen a roof when they kind of start to shine a little bit, where it's like it doesn't look like the regular shingle anymore? It's kind of shining. And so a shingle is literally just fiberglass covered in asphalt, and then you have granulars that are on it, and they have copper in it to keep the mold off of it. But when it starts shining, that's the fiberglass showing through. Huge red flag. Not good. Like you want to get that checked out. If you notice granules that have
On
come
your ground?
on the ground or in the gutters, it's
Okay.
huge.
Okay.
Those should not be coming off like that. Will it occasionally a little bit?
Right.
Sure, but if your gutters are filled with granules, that's a huge problem. We notice a ton of leaking around like any penetration in your roof. So you're right around your chimney, any like ventilation boots that you have, or ultimately the front soffit and fascia areas, you'll start to see leaking in those those areas. But I would say like if you're ever concerned about it, just call us.
Do you guys do free quotes?
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and we'll give the part that we're very adamant about is like if you just wanted like, hey, my roof is 7 years old, should be fine, but like I want it checked out. We will do an inspection, but it's very important to us to develop trust immediately. So we will show you all the pictures, videos. We'll even go back up if you need to see something else because we understand most people are not.
So you video it while you're up there?
Yep, to make sure that if you have any questions at all, that we're showing you like this is exactly what we're seeing.
That is really
because we want our homeowners to be very comfortable that it's like we're not just telling you something's wrong. Like I'm going to show you.
Well, because not that I'm not saying anyone does that, but we did have a spell where there seemed to be a lot of people that were going through insurance, things like that. You want to make sure that the person's reputable that's going up there.
Yep.
So that's really awesome. Actually.
Yeah, and we tell people honestly, this frustrates customers sometimes, but we're very adamant about like we don't want to say something is this way if it's not. And so what I mean by that is like we're also not ones that are just going to say, oh, this is hail damage if it's not, right? Like it's like, hey, it's not. This is not an insurance claim. Like this is what it is. And I do think a lot of businesses have been built around like promising a free roof from insurance, and truthfully, the industry just doesn't work that way. Like
No,
if your
'cause
roof
then-
didn't get ripped apart by a hurricane, it's not it's
No,
not
and then
insurance.
and then it's like a domino effect. So then your insurance, when you had those, it went on for a little bit. Your insurance costs just skyrocket.
It does,
'Cause
and a lot
they
of people
have
don't
to-
realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's high enough as it is.
Yes.
So what about what to look for on the inside of the house? Is there anything that I'm going to see on the inside if there's an issue with the roof?
You'll obviously see stains on your ceiling.
Okay.
But outside of that, like if you notice all of a sudden, things maybe are like smelling weird within your home, I would get it checked out. 'Cause you might have
Like
a
a
leak
mildew?
and it's starting to mildew maybe. Obviously the ceiling's obviously the first one everyone's going to see. If you start to notice like a really big spike in electricity bill, that could be a huge problem. It's worth getting checked out.
Okay.
But outside of that, a lot of it I would say is kind of like your car, right? Like how often do you walk around your car and just check? A lot of people don't. They just get right in and drive. But it's worth like once a month or maybe every couple months or 6 months or so, just walk around and like look up on your roof and see if you notice anything. And once again, we're here for you, right? Like just give us a call. It doesn't cost you anything. Like if you're nervous about anything, let us know. We'll come check it out. And we are very adamant about our people saying like, we'd love to say, because we know we're going to be around so long, that like, thanks for having us out. Your roof looks amazing. Call us in 5 years, right? Like call us when you're ready. And I think that's the amount of trust that you can build with a community if you know you're going to be here another 100 years.
No, you're right. Yeah, it is nice to know that, if you do use somebody for a roof, that they are going to be there when if there is an issue.
Yep.
So, well, it has been amazing talking to you, and I'm glad. It's so cool that the Reismans are still so involved.
Yep.
Because they're so well known around here.
They're the best.
I honestly didn't realize the family was that big. I'm friends with Alan, like I said. So, but that is cool. And
it is funny. Anytime I run into anybody, I'm like, "Do you happen to know the Reismans?" Because that's usually a little in for you. But,
yeah, there you go. And that's all Lake and Sumter County. That's what we're good for around here.
It is. There's so many good people.
Somebody's related to somebody or something, or married to somebody that's related to somebody. So yeah.
I know. I love Lake County.
I
It's
do
the
too.
best.
I do too.
I
Other than the traffic.
I know.
And the roads that need to be widened.
I keep meeting people up here, other business owners or friends, or just getting introduced to the community since I didn't grow up here, and like couldn't say enough good things about Lake County. I love it here.
Yeah,
such
it's
good
really
people.
great. It is
Salt
really
of the earth kind of people around here.
Yeah, we'll take that. Well, thank you again.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us on the Style Podcast.